Hello, in this video, I'm going to do another stock screen with Chartsmart Global that is a little different because it uses some of the custom screening features. And that's going to be screening for splits and new listings and various patterns like that, as opposed to technical screens like looking for Bollinger Band or MACD crossovers or fundamentals, earnings growth, and so on. So let's go back to the filter menu, and we can see we have in the personal fruit and group of filter sets there's one filter set that's been done already for uh, for earnings companies. What we're going to do is add a new set, and we're just going to call it splits. Okay, and let's carry on with that. So we go into the criteria, and of course there aren't any there. And first of all, we can include the exchanges that we want to include. So let's look at Toronto in Canada, which is more like the blue chip companies versus the venture, and we'll stick with Nasdaq, New York, and Amex at this time. Okay, so we've got our exchanges. So I believe also that we've got it set so we're not going to see ETFs. Um, and we're going to go over here now to the special tab. Okay. And we'll look at name change filters and we'll choose that. Okay. So we get this separate menu that allows us on the left to screen for any combination of stock splits, consolidations, and name changes. Okay. So on a lot of blue chip stocks, some people just want to find the companies that have had stock splits recently. So the current date is, see, it's October uh, 27th of 2024. So we could go back and we could say, well, I want to look at all the ones that occurred in the last 3 months. Okay, so that would be about from July. So let's say from July 29th. Um, and the to date is like 2099, which is way above the current date. Let's hope we all get there. And we'll run this preliminary scan, and this will go through our database of all the companies that we monitor with ChartSmart Global, and it'll just do a preliminary screen of all the ones that are uh, before or after that date that we specified. So if you look at the date, you can see here that's August 8th, there's September, and they're sorted, and there's 38 of them, okay, that are in the last 3 months for these larger exchanges. You can also see the rate at which they were um, split. So, for example, we might find actually, I'm going to go back a little further here. I'm going to go back to, say, 5 months. Let's see what happens. So we'll rerun it, and the number should be bigger, and it is. And I'm just trying to see if we can find a name that we might. There's NVIDIA. Okay. It was split 10 to 1 in um, June. So we're going to get to see that chart when we run this. So let's go back here. And now we have to run the main screen, which will apply the split to the exchanges we selected, which were New York, Toronto, and Nasdaq and Amex. And you can see, I see there's one uh, company in Toronto there. So we're going to close and go to group and look at these 21 companies, and we should see that they were split in the last. Let's go back here. And I'm not sure why it's not showing the split line on this one here. For some reason, I'm not sure why it's there, not there. But let's look at this one here, and you can see that there in June. This is Amphenol, and there's the split. And if we click on this button, we can see that it was 2 to 1. Okay, and let's go to the next one here. And you can see once again, there's the split line. So we're basically finding all the ones that had splits. Okay. And of course, we could go back and we could do this for consolidations or both, or we could just look for companies that had name changes and not splits or any combination of all of them. Now, once you've done this, you might say, well, some people might want to look for a certain pattern after the split, maybe that the stock has gone down, maybe like this. So maybe after the split, you might want to say, well, I want it to have dropped. Well, we have to remember that we did this split analysis about 5 months ago. So we could be saying, well, what happened to it in the last 5 months? And we could, for example, I don't know if we'll get any, but let's go to a technical screen and just say I want within the last, where's the uh, uh, price change? Uh, yeah, price change, say in the last 10 weeks, that would be 2.5 months. Let's just say that in the last 2.5 months, the stock is uh, trading within, say, 30% of its 2.5 month range of it to its low. So these ones will have been down in the last 2.5 months. So there aren't very many out of those 20, but let's just see what we get. So that first one that we saw there. But here's this one here. You can see that it's down from its about 2.5 months ago, and it looks like it dropped right before the split. This one it dropped after the split, and that might be more so what we're looking at. If we're looking for ones that are down after the split, some people might look for that. So it really is up to you what patterns you look for. But there, we've looked at that one, and I'm actually going to do another one since this video is not that long yet. And we're going to add another screen, and we're going to go for listings. Okay, so let's look at this, and let's look at companies on we don't even have to specify. If we don't specify the exchange, we can just look for um, any company that had a new listing. So let's go in here, and this works the same way. We can say new listings after a certain date. So let's say this one is going to be July 29th, which is about 3 months ago. So let's run the screen and see what we get. We get 137 in the whole database. And we can be more specific. This includes, let's just go into here and we'll go, let's choose the exchanges and say we want to just look at Toronto, NASDAQ, and New York. Okay, so let's see, did I miss one here? Toronto, NASDAQ, we missed New York. Okay, and we'll do Amex as well. So let's run this and see how many we get. These are new listings. There's 113 new listings that have been recorded over the last 3 months. And let's see what they look like. Okay. So here's the first one, and you can see how it started trading there. That blue line, by the way, indicates a new listing. So we should see that on almost all of these charts. Okay. So I'm going through, and obviously they're not going to have a lot of data because they're all relatively new. And of course, you could say, well, I just want to look at ones that have dropped, say, 20% in the last uh, few months, so that they're down after their new listing. And or you could say, I want to look at ones that have certain fundamentals or whatever. So I just wanted to show that additional feature to you in ChartSmart. There's just so many things in here. You could sit down for hours and hours and actually days and go through all the different filtering capabilities and all the amazing features. I always like showing this one to draw charts. So I'm going to go back and do this. I'm just going to say I'm going to run this one that I had for earnings companies. I don't know how many there were, but let's just see what we got. Oh, there were only 4. So actually, why not take a very simple screen, and I'm going to go back to the beginner options and just take one of the very simple ones that we had as samples, NYSE securities that just traded over 100,000 shares on the current day. So here they are, and what we could do out of those 2,900 is we could say, well, I just want to look at the ones that uh, traded a great deal, uh, the highest volume ones today. Okay, so the highest volume one was Joby Aviation. Now, we could go through as we do normally and look through these charts. And there we go. There's the chart. You can see on the right the big volume day when that dropped. Okay, and these are all going to be very high volume days because these are the highest volume ones. For example, this company, Capri Holdings, had a major plummet. So what I wanted to show you was just this. If we set the chart the way we want, with all the indicators, we can print them over here. We can go to print charts for list. And if we want to do any layout, two per page or one per page or weekly and daily, we can even print them with the fundamentals. And I usually print this one here, but I'm just going to show you this special option so you can see it. It's the weekly chart with the fundamentals on the bottom page. I haven't run this for a long time, but let's see what we get. So there's the chart of Joby. What you see there, what you saw there was the fundamentals summary being saved as well. So what this is doing is it's putting a chart of Joby on the top of the screen, and then it's going to or on the top of the page, and then on the bottom of the page, it's putting the fundamentals summary, and then of course it will you can that'll go into a PDF, and then you'll be able to print all these PDFs of these various companies that you've screened out. If you had maybe 20 or 30 or 50 or whatever it may be. So here we go. It's continuing. And you can see here's a veil and there's the summary. Okay. And what I'm going to do is just stop this after it's done a couple so we can take a look at these PDFs. Okay. So let's stop it and see what happens. Oh, stop the print job. There we go. It goes back to the main menu, and let's take a look at the files that were created. So we could take a look at that Veil one. Let's see what actually it shows. So let's choose this app for the PDF, which I have installed here. And there's the chart on the top, and isn't that nice and clean? And there's the summary on the bottom with your cash and marketable securities and so on displayed with their earnings that you can correlate with the charts. Amazing what ChartSmart will do. Nothing is capable of this that we're aware of, and I'm just going to go further into this feature and say, well, okay, let's delete all of these files. So we'll go delete all these PDF files in the folder. And I'm going to rerun this, just do 4 charts per page, and let's see what we get. Okay. And you're going to see the same thing. You're going to see these uh, charts flashing by with all the different things that you set. And if ever it gets to 4 of them, it's going to save them to a PDF in a very neat, organized way so that you can look at them later or email them to somebody and show them the charts in your list. You might have 24 companies with 4 per page. That might be 6 pages you're going to send somebody. So I'll stop this and let's just take a look at them. Okay, and the reason why we have this feature is because we used to make chart books, and we used to make good chart books, and we were the biggest, probably the second biggest or the biggest in North America. Anyway, let's look at this one here. And you can see, once again, a very nice layout of the charts with all their colored fundamentals. Okay, there you go. And it even puts the page numbers. So if you had 24 charts, there'd be 6 pages. So I'm going to leave the video at that. Thanks for listening. And if you have any questions, email us at at info@chartsmart.com. And we really appreciate your suggestions and comments and any input you can give us. Thank you.